broadcasting a long day of commentating, but I am so excited for this. We have really got the cream of the crop here tonight for the skippies. This is going to be one heck of a race.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, folks. Got so excited that didn't unmute the mics, so we were a bit cold there, but we started. And I was just saying, welcome everyone. Alex McKellar here with a great Carl Withy, who's called the Daytona 500 today. And tonight, together, we call the strongest skippy strength of field ever in history at just over 6,100. So exciting stuff. Amazing stuff, actually. Really looking forward to it. It's the best skippy action going around, as we always say. The folks are out of the Nurburgring, shorter layout here. Cuts out the stadium section and the loop out the back. So laps are well under the usual 2-minute mark. But they're out there at the moment, laying down their laps, as it were. And Carl, amazing field here tonight. Some of the likes, you know, got Corey Lean on screen at the moment. He's normally well up the order. His car 15 here tonight with a 5,600 I rating. Outstanding.
It's just crazy, isn't it? I mean, we're looking at some of the drivers that we're so used to seeing in the higher number cars, and they are very low down the field. I think the second split will be very strong tonight as well, considering just the sheer number of just high-end strength I-rating drivers in here tonight. But we have got Benny Simonson back with us, the number 1 seed, and he is currently just about to start his qualifying lap. So going to be interesting to see how qualifying goes. Will Nagai be able to get pole position? We've seen it so many times. A really strong driver for those quick, fast qualifying laps. How is he going to do in such a strong field tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Just going through the rest of the drivers in the field. Sam Devantier, the leading ANZ in terms of seeds. He's car number 3 here tonight. Car number 4 is Julian O'Fray, who he set pole provisionally, but Chinchilla and Nagai pipping him there. Car number 5 here tonight, if I can find him. Last week's podium getter, Adam Miles, also does a great job on the forums each week with a weekly breakdown of the week that was in the skips. Fantastic effort each week. Nathan Wade is a UK and I compatriot. Very racy out on track. He's car number 6, just ahead of Christian Perez, who's our current series leader for Astro Racing Team. His teammate's currently sitting in second in the provisional standings. But Christian only car 7 here tonight. That's crazy. Car 8 is his teammate, Oscar Chinchilla, who is currently sitting in second, as we said. Car 9, Kazuki Igarashi. Now, I've seen him around the traps in the skits, but yet to see him here on a Sunday night. So great to see the Japanese driver supporting Nagai-san up near the front. And car 10, Erwin Zoma, another regular, really fast skippy driver, I have to say. 5,800 I rating, just under 59 in car 10, Carl. That's nuts.
Yeah, that is insane. Then we go down to Fraser Smith in car number 11. Again, one of those drivers that we've seen around. Tim Hendricks returning back to the series in car number 12. Giuseppe Tellini in the 13 car. Kevin Budgeon in the 14 with Corey Ling 15th, as we said earlier on. It's crazy to see him so far down. George Mattox in 16, Takuma Yamato in 17, and Vasco Sorowski creeping in with the 18th car.
Oh, I just missed him. They're jumping around everywhere as they're doing their second laps. So I think Vasco Sorowski sneaks in with 5,100. That's the ticket to ride here on a Sunday night this week. Benny Simonson, though, he's coming out to close his second lap. He is sitting on pole with a 25.4, if you don't mind. There's plenty of folks who'd like that in the main race, but we've got Budgeon also closing in on the end of his lap. He's down in 10th at the moment. Budgeon really on the rise in recent times. He's been putting in the yards, and his pace has really increased, and his I rating's reflecting that at, again, just under 57.
Simonson absolutely losing it in the chicane, coming up to the final section, hitting the curb a little bit too hard, so that's ruined his second lap, but he's still up there at the moment, so looking good to snatch that pole position. Can anybody get ahead of him?
Miles, the last one out on track, yet to set his second lap. 5-plated car here tonight from UK and I, well down the order in 15th at the moment. We know he's stronger than that. Finished second at the Hungaroring from memory last week. What's he got for us here? Yeah, straight up to P8 with a 25.6, some 2/10 off pole. O'Fray, the last one out there, just dribbling across the line. He's He's done his 2 laps, but he's practicing starts. Although tyres are warm now, Carl, so it's probably, oh, mate, you know what he's doing? He's doing the little things. He's practicing the run into turn 1, picking the line and where he's going to place the car. Smart thing from the Frenchman.
Yeah, some last minute practice, just getting your eye in, just getting used to it. Of course, with the sessions change with weather and wind speed and all that kind of thing sometimes. So you might want to get your eye on the ball for those kind of things, just to get a little bit of an idea, see how it's going in that respect. And not a bad idea just to get that little bit of practice in towards the end of qualifying.
Yeah, it can definitely make all the difference. With a minute to go. But, folks, yeah, amazing field here tonight. Once again, just for those of you who are just joining us, strongest strength of field in Skippy official racing history. It's a tick over 6,100 tonight. Unexpected as it might be. Although this was, as I was saying to you before, Carl, the home of our first ever 5K strength of field. So perhaps not so surprising that we see our first 6K, although albeit somewhat of a shock.
Yeah, it's it's not just 6K, it's over 6K, which is just impressive. But yeah, it's like different. It was the full track last time, though. I think it was the GP circuit, if I recall. But this is the slightly shorter layout this time round.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It is a shorter run around here as the clock just ticks down. We wait for the drivers or the session to tick over, and we'll grab the grid, the final grid. Although pretty cool to see as we will when the clock does tick down, which I think it has now. I might be able to get the grid up. Benny Simpson with his first lap for Apex Racing, a 25.4 grabs pole from the great qualifier himself, Naoya Nagai. Not only beat him, but he beat him by 1.21, just over a tenth, which is pretty impressive given the space between Nagai and other drivers this season. Astro Racing's Christian Perez drops it on third. The battle continues between he and Nagai for the championship this season. Takumi Yamato for Nagai Racing School joins him on the second row. The fruits of their practice in qualifying this season obviously paying dividends for the Japanese. Two out of the top 4 on the front 2 rows. Nathan Wade for UK and I in 5th position off the grid tonight. Starting in 6th will be Oscar Chinchilla, who is, of course, Perez's teammate. Julian O'Fray, the current reigning champion, starting only as high as 7th here tonight off the grid. Adam Miles from UK and I. Podium last week starts from 8th tonight. Vasco Sorowski, the leading ANZ driver, off the grid tonight. He's starting in 9th, just ahead of his compatriot, I should say, Corey Lee and Kevin Budgeon for Nippy Racing down in 11th. 12th off the grid, returning Team Torpedo driver in the blue and orange mobile, Tim Hendrickson. 13th tonight, Kazuki Igarashi making his debut for Sunday night for Japan. 14th off the grid tonight, Giuseppe Tellini for Wave Italy Racing Team. George Maddock returns from UK and I starting 15th. 16th, the Speedy Snails driver. He's won 2 races this season. It's going to be tough to do from 16th on the grid. 17th tonight starting will be Erwin Zoma. And last off the grid, the returning Fraser Smith, who won an amazing race here a couple of seasons ago. Fascinating to see what he can do from that position, though, Carl, as the guys get ready to go.
Getting ready to go. The light will soon turn out, and away we go here for the biggest strength of field race in Skippy history. Great start from Simonson and Nagai. The battle is going to be behind. Looks like somebody had a bit of a bad start right towards the back of the field. Maybe one of the Owen Zimmer, but we are off to a good start. Through the first set of corners we go. Will they get through cleanly?
Yeah, looks like they've got through okay so far for the most part. I don't see anyone really dropping, but it's really Simonson who's got away quickly. He's leading from Perez, who's already jumped Nagai-san early on to grab second behind Simonson, realising what a flight risk, even in a 6K strength of field, that Simonson really is. He is that good. He's been away for a while. Former series champion here on a Sunday night, as they still 2x2 deep in the field. We see already Fraser Smith up 3 positions from his starting position in last spot. But we see Perez and Simonson, they're the ones to beat up front.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that battle heading on, but there is a great battle pack going on just behind as well, as we see the number 6 of Nathan Wade working his way through. Quite a few drivers in that sort of group having a really good battle at the moment. Number 14 of Kevin Budgeon unfortunately gone around, so he's got spun and into the into the Valdez chicane. So a bit of an accident there, but they are pretty much away cleanly. So not a huge amount of damage in the first lap.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys picked up a slowdown through the final chicane. He's dropped like a stone, although he must have risen a few because he's only dropped as far as where he started in 16th as we head down to the first corner, the primary passing opportunity. Oh, and into the rear of Nagai is it was Chinchilla. It's just tagged Nagai in the rear, and Nagai, his luck this season has just been terrible. If he's had any luck, it's been bad. He gets away, doesn't look too damaged. He might have a clean car, but that's the end of his competitive night. And now it looks like that has not only taken out the leading Japanese driver, but it's left Simonson and Perez. This will be a battle for the ages up front, potentially if they get busy with it. But behind, there's a big gap of around 2 seconds, which is really taken away from the big one at this stage.
Yeah, they've managed to pull that gap as the rest of the field battle away behind them. I'm really looking forward to this lead pack, though. The battle between Simonson and Perez is going to be fantastic to watch. Nathan Wade doing a good job to work his way through the carnage and get up to third position at the moment. Fraser Smith having a good run up into P11 as well, 7 positions gained in the race.
Yeah, crazy stuff. I remember when he did come through and win his first race here, he did start further back than you would expect, or that we came to expect from him, but he did drive an amazing race. The front pack got away. He bridged the gap, which is so hard to do when drivers are working together, which just shows his out-and-out pace. And then he made his way through and ended up taking the win from memory. So he's got the racecraft to go with it too, and now he's well and truly ensconced in that sort of secondary pack and looking to do the same sort of thing again tonight if at all possible. Swarovski's his next target. Swarovski already in the 18 car who just snuck in, showing a bit of damage there from a front to rear contact at some point, Carl.
Yeah, that was earlier in the race. He got hit. He had a bit of impact with Kevin Budgeon, unfortunately, in that final chicane. So that was the reason for Budgeon's spin and the damage to the back of Swarovski's car.
Yeah, right. Budgeon now in the pits by the looks. But let's go take a look. Let's go see if we can't grab a look at that incident that you mentioned. Oh, no, that's a bit after. We'll see the Nagai incident once again if we can. It was into turn 1. And you can just see behind him, well behind him, was maybe he braked early or, yeah, I'm not so sure because right into the rear of him, you'll see just here comes Chinchilla. It's through the middle of the corner though. Look at that, through the middle of the corner, just mounts the Japanese driver. Look, I'm going to say there's a little bit of netco there just because the damage is not really significant. But, yeah, that's not his finest work, Chinchilla, I have to say. And that robs us of Nagai's. Now we see, back to live pictures, that battle pack is going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Swarovski looking to make the moves up the inside. Gets 2 for 1. Oh, and Hendrickson leaves him plenty of room, but then they touch.
Contact there.
Yeah, and behind him, Fraser Smith looking to take advantage if he can, but he had nowhere to go. There was a plethora of skippies in front of him and no room to make the move.
No, too many cars going into the same corner. A little bit further up the field, defending champion O'Fray has moved up to P3, getting past Nathan Wade. So O'Fray on the move a little bit, but I don't think there's much he can do to catch up to Simonson and Perez at the moment. He is going to be really trying his best, I think, but it's going to be a hard battle to get onto that group. The battle pack behind, though, from P8 down is just absolutely nose to tail at the moment. That's going to be a great fight. A lot of cars out there with a little bit of damage to the front wings now, though, and that might just affect them a tiny bit.
Yeah, as we see side by side in the braking zone, Yamato getting... Oh, there's contact behind as well. They've gone 2x2 unsuccessfully once again. That's the thing about these high strength of field races. What you tend to see is all these guys in their own right are race winners throughout the week. No problems at all. You put them all together and they're all thinking, what am I doing back here in 10th, 11th, 12th, and trying to move forward in some of the unusual places. They're not used to having 6 or 8 cars around them, and this is the kind of stuff you see in these big races. There's high quality drivers.
Contact up the front, Wade and O'Fray. Wade into the back of O'Fray, managed to save it, just about save it. They've lost a little bit of time to Adam Miles, but yeah, that was almost a big disaster for P3 and 4.
Yeah, meanwhile, Benny Simonson and Christian Perez they're running away with it. Simonson's just done the best lap of the race with a 25.5 in clean air, and Perez really looking like he might struggle to hang on to him in some respects.
You've just got to laugh at that kind of lap pace. It's just you're sort of looking at it going, I would be happy with that's an excellent qualifying time. That's race pace. You're just like, wow, okay, yeah, very very good stuff. Obviously, tyres are nice and warm now. They're getting up to temperature, makes these cars a lot easier to drive. That's going to help out a lot. But being in clean air, that is such an impressive lap.
Yeah, absolutely. And Perez playing the smart game. He'll get involved when he needs to at the end. It's chicane time. I think everyone's got through okay by the looks. Have they yet? Line astern they go once again. Swarovski up one position behind Hendrickson, who in the Team Torpedo blue and orange mobile with a slightly bent front wing. If you don't mind, we know he's got pace. He's been out of the game for a while, but he's up 5 spots in this field. Decent effort.
Meanwhile, the battle for P3 is on. O'Fray, Wade and Mills together. Almost contact between them. O'Fray had a poor run off the exit of the final corner. Gave him poor drive down the front, but he's managed to just stay in front of the group at the moment. This battle is definitely heating up. And as you were saying, Alex, it's one of those things, these drivers are so used to sort of running away a little bit at the front of the field and sort of leading the races. Sometimes you just lose a little bit of that real close racecraft. And it's no fault of your own. It's when you don't practice it constantly, you sort of just get a little bit of rust on it. And all of a sudden, when you're fighting against these guys that are just as quick as you sort of go, oh, okay, got to remember how to do this, got to remember this. And it just catches you out sometimes. Meanwhile, Hendricks and Swarovski are having a great battle. Swarovski gets a nice run on Hendricks up to the chicane and make contact.
Big contact there. Gonski, can they keep it out from the rest of the field? Hendricks rejoins in the middle, lean. Oh, Tellini does very well to give him space there. That looked like it was in the middle of the straight because Swarovski potentially looking to keep Hendrickson tight, but then I just want to see this again. I think Swarovski's whoops, sorry, I hit the wrong button there. Let's try again. Swarovski, keeps him tight, does he? Hang on, let's try again. Get one more go. Yeah, Hendrickson comes over on him. I think Swarovski's keeping him tight for the chicane. Hendrickson comes over on him in the middle of the straight, and that's I don't know. That's a tough one. Like my golden rule is these days I don't squeeze people in the corners for that very reason. If they're unsighted, I know Hendrickson races on a single monitor. But I know that Vasco won't, right? So his vision's impaired and he's just pulled over like he wasn't there.
Yeah, he just missed out. I think he was expecting Swarovski to be moving over to the right a little bit quicker than he was, and it just got unsighted. One of those things that would very much be on Hendrickson for that one, unfortunately, but more of a sight issue than anything else. Meanwhile, good move by Adam Mills on Chinchilla at the moment, getting a nice run. Almost getting the move on O'Fray as well. Can't quite make it happen. The battle at the front is still Simonson and Perez. Perez still just sitting behind Simonson. But Mills is on the move now, getting past O'Fray this time around, passing 2 cars within the span of about 3 corners. Very nice run for the number 5.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got it done, and he's got it done well. Beautiful.
Oh, we've got a big accident towards the back. Huge accident with the guy getting into the side of the 16 of George Matic, and then everybody piling into it. Nowhere to go for the rest of that group.
Let's have a look. I've got Takumi Yamato here with, jeepers, there's going to be a few here if this is the one. Oh, is it Nagai? No, I'm trying to find it, mate, but nothing's showing up at the minute.
I think this is it.
Oh, so, wow. Yeah, that's massive.
And the Cowboy just sneaking through there, just managed to save it and keep himself safe. But a lot of cars caught up in that, a lot of big drivers taken out in that incident.
Yeah, I'm just going to follow Nagai this time through. He's just up the inside, 16 squeezed him, and then it's all just come unstuck. Fraser Smith's into the rear. Yamato's ploughed in there at full pace. Zoma as well. That's taken out quite a number of them. That's the big one, so to speak. That's an unfortunate one indeed for the likes of this one. But meanwhile, back up front, we check in on Simonson. He's got a decent gap, a half a second on Perez. That's not easy to do.
No, on your best of days, if you can get half a second on Perez, you're doing extremely well. And he is just absolutely keeping it there. Is Perez just sitting there, just biding his time, trying to work out a line, trying to work out the best place to make a move? Meanwhile, behind him, the battle between O'Fray, Mills, and Wade is still going on. These guys battling every single lap, giving us all the excitement that we need at the moment. Fantastic action going on for the third place position.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen action aplenty everywhere around the place, which is great. And what you would expect in this kind of field. There's still some pockets of excitement floating around here. Lean heading up to Leany and Hendrickson still in the fight. Of course, Hendrickson up 4 positions now to Leany, the big mover in the field, up 7. But geez, there's some fellas up the back licking their wounds, that's for sure. But up the front, Simonson still leading out from Perez. We're on lap 9 of 20, so they'll reach the halfway mark at the end of the next lap. I don't know, there's so much action. I feel like we've seen 20 laps already.
Exactly. It doesn't feel like half distance. It feels like we are pretty much getting towards the end of the race. We've seen pretty much something of everything at the moment. We've seen everything that you can think of at the moment. I'm sure I'll be taken back on that one and surprised there'll be something crazy happen. But my gosh, what an absolute blinder of a race so far.
Yeah, absolutely. There are definite pockets of excitement now that they're broken up into threes pretty much throughout as we get to that middle phase of the race. Adam Miles now has just set the fastest lap of the race, and I'm going to say it's undrafted, a 25.1, just pipping Simonson with he's done a 25.11. Simonson did a 25.17, with Perez doing a 25.16 in Simonson's draft. So the times are starting to tumble as the laps fall and we start getting into the second half of this race. I'm going to say we'll see a magic 24 before too long.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to get down into that area. Mills just had a little bit of draft from O'Fray down the front straight for the first section of that lap, but nothing else through the rest of the lap. That was a fantastic one. Really nice lap times, and they're just tumbling at the moment. These lap times are just absolutely insane. You sort of look at them and go, wait, you're doing 25 once? That's silly. That's a silly pace. That's way too quick.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I'm just trying to spot now Lane with Tellini, and you've got Hendrickson behind. They're in a little island of 3 there, battling it out for P6. You've got, of course, Miles, O'Fray and Wade. There's more to be seen or told in that story, of course. And Perez and Simonson, who broke away so early after that first lap or so's incident with Chinchilla and Nagai, who's got to have had the most adventurous race out of anyone in this. I can't believe that Skippy still held together. Is it pot rivets or gaffer tape that's holding that thing together at this stage? As he looks up the inside this time of Maddock. No, it pulls out of that one, but that brings the Cowboy back into it. Some of the big names that we're used to seeing right up the front. I mean, Cowboy in P11, he's won 2 races this season, and this week he finds himself buried in the pack.
Yeah, that's sort of one of those things that can sort of play a bit on your head sometimes. You know, when you've been having such a good couple of races, you get those wins, and then all of a sudden you find yourself so far down the pecking order, you sort of go, hey, what's going on here? And it could really catch you out. I think the guy's car is just being held together with faith at the moment alone. But it is working, so just keep the faith in it, the guy, and just keep going, because you seem to be able to get it there.
Yeah, he may well. It's not often he's car number 2 in any field either, just quietly. But that's Simonson for you. He's just a tick under. Oh, what have we lost, mate?
Up the front, we've got Simonson and Perez starting a little bit of battling. Perez just looking to make a bit of a move on Simonson through the final corner. Just starting to do some probing attacks. Now we're getting towards the final half of this race. So I think Perez is on the move, thinking about making a few attacks now and see if he can start to unsettle Simonson and make a move right now.
I reckon it'll be tough to unsettle a guy who's pretty much a professional racing car driver. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of Perez can throw at Simonson. And with sort of What have we got? 9 laps to go now. He can start thinking about it because they've got a 6-second lead, which is just crazy when you think about the quality of this field. Meanwhile, Miles, O'Fray and Wade, they continue their battle for the final step on the podium. 4.5 seconds behind them, we've got Lean and Tellini in a battle with Hendrickson for the balance of, well, they're going to be fighting for 6th position in the end, with Matic and Devantia now having the stricken Japanese, and still remains the leading Japanese driver in Nagai, battling out for P9 through 11, Zoma, who again is tucked on the back there. He is so often a race winner during the week of Skippy racing each week, and to see him, like I say, buried down in P12, the final Sunday Night Lights point scoring position, is rather disconcerting, if not a little surprising. But Kazuki Igarashi making his debut here on a Sunday night in the top split. He's down in 13th, just ahead of Fraser Smith, who, whilst he's up 4 positions, that jarring moment through the final corners really robbed his rise through the field, which we've sort of become used to seeing. He's missing the tip of his nose there. The rear's looking rather second-hand, and that's not the speed that he wants in the races. Side by side into turn 1, we see the 12 and 13. Hendrickson getting done by Tellini at this stage, Carl. And, Hendrickson comes back on him.
Just want to mention, you were talking about maybe getting into the 24s. Simonson just got a 24.8.
Yeah, wow. Crazy.
And that's while being harassed by Perez as well. So that is a stunning lap there. That is fantastic. Leading the race. Clean error course out there. A 24.8 around here. That is just blistering pace. But yeah, some of those battles going on at the moment are really fun to watch. Hendrickson's got quite a bit of damage to the nose of that car. It's actually, you can sort of see the crash structure underneath the actual nose of the car flipping around as it goes over some of the bumps sometimes. It is holding on with, I think, maybe just one tiny screw at the moment, so it won't be long until that thing falls off.
Yeah, and the smile then might change to a squint, I'm thinking, as the wind blows through and keeps his toes cool, if nothing else. But Lean on the front of that little battle there, ahead of Tellini, who again remains the hard charger in this field, although Adam Miles has done particularly well. He's up 5 positions to be in the hunt for a podium once again. He's leading this pack of 3 with O'Fray, the returning series champion, and the 6-plated Nathan Wade. So 2 UK and I drivers last week were fighting out for the win at the Hungaroring. It is this week they're fighting out for P3, although only Adam Miles is the consistent one both weeks. Wade this time trying to get amongst it though.
Yeah, really having the battles going on. I think maybe a little bit of an incident with Sam Devantia, the Cowboy, just locking up, just getting a little bit, just losing the car a little bit, and having just a little bit of a moment of bravery for the 16 George Maddock behind him. So they're just getting very close. It is getting racy throughout the field, though. They are really putting everything out there, and I think everybody wants to get a good finish tonight. With this strength of field, I mean, you're just going to want to try and get the best finish you can, because there is so much I-rating at stake right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Into the braking zone at the chicane. Maddock closing right up behind the Cowboy this time. The green and purple liveried Speedy Snails car. Let's talk of a new livery coming for the Speedy Snails. Time will tell. Meanwhile, this time it's a 24/7 fastest lap for Perez in the tow of Simonson. Simonson, of course, set it the fastest lap last lap undrafted. Unbelievable time there. Now, O'Fray taking a defensive line, making sure that Wade is not interested, while Adam Miles is leading this pack, fighting for the final step on the podium. And I tell you what, Lean is starting to close the gap. I feel like Lean, I feel like he's pretty close. No, he's not. I beg your pardon, I misread that. He's still 5 seconds behind. So not my best work there, but I tell you what, there's so many places to look at the moment, it's hard to keep up. It's behind them that Devantia may be looking to hunt them down, perhaps, Carl.
Yeah, look, they're only a small mistake away from falling back a fair few positions. I mean, 5 seconds is not a long time. If you make a mistake and end up in, especially in one of those gravel traps, you're going to be stuck there for a little bit of time, and you could well drop back a fair few spots right now. There is a huge gaggle of cars behind them, and these guys are racing hard. So all it takes is that one little mistake, and then you'll see somebody like or Lean getting back into the action, but he's still got to defend against Tellini and Hendrickson. Then Santavantia, if they can work together with Maddock, Nagai, and Zoma in the background there, they might be able to just catch up to the back of this little battle. It's going to be tricky. There's not that much more to go, only 5 laps, but it is very much on. Meanwhile, oh, we've got to move for the lead. Perez has got into the lead over Simonson down the straight, so we have got a change for the lead. He has managed to get up into the front of this field.
Well, let's go take a look at that move. I'm going to guess it's into the braking zone of turn 1. It is. Yeah, Simonson leaves the door open. And for the first time, Perez chooses to walk through and gets the job done. Typical move there at turn 1. Simonson, of course, has led all laps so far, including this one, but will he remain that way by the end of it? Perez now looking to really start to shake things up. He's got
Simonson
through.
getting a great run here. Beautiful run up to the chicane. Perez has the inside line. Simonson's going to go for the long way round. They're braking late. Perez just locks up a little bit. This is going to give Simonson the opportunity. He'll have the inside line now, and we'll have that straight. Will Perez get better drive off the corner, taking the longer way round? It's going to be side by side. They get so close. Simonson gets a little bit loose mid-corner. It's going to be a drag race down. Could this be a prelude to what we're going to see at the final stages of this race? It's going to be Perez getting a lap led, is it? Yes, just about. So it is so close between these two, but Simpson is back in the lead at the moment.
Wow, that's absolutely dress rehearsal stuff for the final lap. Amazing stuff. Even with the lateral movement through the final chicane, both drivers able to get through there cleanly. Speaks to the standard of these two. Both of them love to have a race. Not often you get an opportunity to have this caliber of racing that for these two, and to do it on the big stage that we have tonight. Fantastic stuff. It's taken 16 laps for it to start to occur. I'm going to bet the last few will be more of the same, as the Spaniard really tries to put all sorts of pressure over Simonson, who has shown he's got the pace here tonight. But wow, these two of the best going around. Looking forward to seeing how it plays out.
Yeah, this is just, just rubbing your hands together with joy at the moment. This is such a cool battle we've got going on between these drivers, and it is hotly contested up the front. Simonson getting a better run through the chicane this time. Perez dropping back a little bit, but I think he's just going to start looking at making a few more probing attacks, taking a slightly different line through that final corner as well. So he's just trying different lines, just trying different exits, different entries, just to see what he can get out of this. Meanwhile, just behind him in third place, Adam Mills has pulled away from O'Fray. Is sort of got a nice little gap over there. Doesn't have a safety net. If he makes a mistake, he will drop back, but he has got enough room just to feel a little bit safe. O'Fray has Wade just behind him as well. They've settled down for the time being, but I can see this battle heating up again towards the end of the race.
Yeah, 100%. It's just behind them. You've got Tellini in front of Hendrickson. Lean now looking a little bit worse for wear, that front wing, and
I think Lean's possibly had a slowdown. He seems to just lost a lot of pace down the front straight.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I think you're right. He was managing a slowdown there, and that's brought Devantier right back into it. And he's chasing pack with Maddock and Nagai. Nagai carrying all sorts of damage after an adventurous race. Meanwhile, just checking in with our leaders as they approach the second sort of secondary. You'd call it the primary passing opportunity at so many tracks, but this final chicane. Simonson forced to take a slightly defensive line to make sure that Perez doesn't have a look. But yeah, that's the second of two. Oh, as underneath goes Perez, compromises the line of the number 1 seated driver here at Simonson, who's led all but maybe one of the laps here tonight. And Simonson now forced to take a defensive line as they commence lap 19 of 20. This is where the gloves come off. These two are about to set about racing with their 5.5 second lead. Side by side, they go through the first corner. Perez seeds the corners. We jump back to see what the second group are doing. It's still miles out ahead of O'Fray and Wade. Carla's, we got 2 to go. Who's your money on?
Look, I'm not very good at betting at the moment. Everybody I've bet has ended up crashing in their Daytona race, so I don't really want to put the knockers on anyone. But Simonson has just been driving a beautiful race at the moment. Really good defensive lines, and yeah, look, can't put much past Perez, but I think Simonson might just have this one.
Yeah, it could well be, although I wouldn't put it past the racecraft of Perez to throw something late at our current leader. It's great to see him back, and everyone seems to have followed him here tonight. Budgeon in the pit still. He's been in there for a while, so he's our only retirement at this stage. It's not.
Oscar Chinchilla as well is unfortunately out too, retiring a bit earlier on in the race.
Yeah, absolutely. The second pack now, they've made their way through the chicane. But as we cross now to our leaders once again, the final lap is about to commence. Where's Perez going to look? We know they'll probably have a look if he can down at turn 1, but Simonson saying having none of that, moving all the way over to the right. Does Perez keep him close and swing out? Yes, he does. No move there. The Spaniard look heavy under braking. Tiny little hint of a lock up there. Can he come back underneath? No, he can't. Simonson driving great defensive lines there, Carl, as you say.
Yeah, he's just positioning that car perfectly. On that last time around the final corner, Simonson was sort of taking his normal line and just cut right across Perez's nose. I think Perez just caught sort of just a little bit unsighted with that. So really well done from Simonson, just catching Perez out. Perez just losing a little bit of time, just losing a little bit of speed through the corners there, just sliding a little bit too much. And that's given Simonson just a little bit of a break now. Probably one of the biggest gaps we've seen in this race so far between these two, about half a second. That says it all, really. A little bit further back, Mills is under attack from O'Fray, so that battle is still not over. There are still plenty of fights going on, but we're going to be focusing up the front because this has been an epic battle between these two. Is there anything Perez can do around the final corner? He's going to have to do something spectacular here to catch Simonson off. Goes down late, goes in early. Simonson takes that beautiful line, cutting across the front of Perez, forcing him to go wide across the kiddie litter, and it's going to be Simonson taking the victory here tonight for the strongest soft in Sunday Night Lights.
Strongest soft in Sunday Night Lights, strongest soft in Skip Barber official racing history. Congratulations, Benny Simonson. Adam Miles, second podium in 2 weeks. He'll be cheering. Big grin like a Cheshire cat, no doubt, as the stragglers. I feel reluctant calling them the stragglers. They're such strong. This is such a strong field, though, that some of the best drivers of the world, well, they've got to fill out the numbers, I guess, at the end of the day, as we see Fraser Smith crossing or coming through the final corner, and that looks like an absolutely war-weary Skip Barber car, that's for sure. Yamato's son comes through the final corner similarly. Spectacular. Look, it was a mistake, I think, there from Perez, who pushed a little bit too hard through turn 4 that led into turn 5 that really cost him the win. Swarovski now, our final straggler to cross the line, or at least, if not the win, his shot at the win, because realistically, Simonson was almost unheaded through that final sector. Didn't even get a crack at him through the final chicane there, Carl, at the end, just because of that simple mistake.
Yeah, look, again, just it was that sort of that defensive drive, and I think, as I said, they practiced it last lap round, and I think Perez's mistake was sort of giving away his hand a little bit too early, and it just gave Simonson that opportunity to know what Perez was going to do. He cut across, and Perez just drifted out that little bit wide, and that was that for his night. But what a race between them all. That final lap for Simonson as well, 24.9, still just incredible pace there. The fastest lap of the race, a 24.7. Really, really fast racing. That was fantastic stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Well, let's go take a look at our results here tonight. Strongest strength of field in Skip Barber official racing history was won by Benny Simonson for Apex Racing. Fantastic drive from Benny. Stuck it on pole with his first lap, if you don't mind, and then led, I'm going to say, every lap, and almost had the fastest lap as well. Fantastic drive from Simonson in his return to Sunday Night Lights. Christian Perez, who's currently leading the series, second place in this sort of field, is no embarrassment, and certainly acquitted himself well, and will continue to lead the series for Astro Racing Team. Adam Miles, second podium in a row The UK&I driver led a fighting pack behind him, or left one behind him, I should say, with Julian O'Fray finishing in fourth just behind him, and Nathan Wade similarly in fifth. Giuseppe Cellini, the sole Italian driver for Wave Italy Racing Team, he's finished in sixth, just ahead of Team Torpedo's own Tim Hendrickson and the blue and orange mobile. The Cowboys' Sam Devantier, the leading ANZ driver for Speedy Snails, finished in P8. George Maddock, the UK&I driver, joining us once again. He's finished in ninth. Corey Lean, the second ANZ driver here tonight, he's finished in 10th. Naoya Nagai, after sticking it on the front row, the leading Japanese driver. Holy cow, he had an adventurous race. He finished down on 11th in the points. Final point scoring position went to Erwin Zoma, who, from memory, makes his debut here tonight. Very strong skippy driver, unable to make his impression on this one. Kazuki Igarashi, similarly from Japan, makes his debut tonight, finishing in 13th. Fraser Smith, unable to make his characteristic charge through the field. The UK&I driver in his first race this season, finishing 14th. Takumi Yamato from Japan and Nagai Racing School finishes in 15th, just ahead of Team Clown's own Vasco Sorosky, finished in 16th. Oscar Chinchilla, unfortunately, one of two retirements here tonight in 17th, just ahead of the other one, Kevin Budgeon for Nippy Racing, down in 18th, Carl. Well, that was one for the ages, mate, and certainly, mate, blown away by the support we've had here tonight.
Yeah, that was an absolute classic. Some amazing racing, great open wheel action, and that's what we love on a Sunday night. Just seeing some of that action and all the way through the field. There was not a single sort of moment where you could look away and go, yeah, that was just there's nothing going on there. There was action throughout the whole field. That was absolutely crazy.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Well, we are going to do a couple of interviews with some of the stars of the night. Let's bring up our first one. One, Benny Simonson. Benny, mate, welcome back. And what a way to come back. Strongest strength of field in iRacing Skip Barber history. And you've led it from flag to flag, mate. Welcome back.
Thanks, guys. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good race. Obviously, a bit lucky we got away in the beginning, but yeah, I guess Christian had a championship to fight for, so he didn't want to put his nose in too much. So probably left it a little bit easy on me on this one. But yeah, it was a good race, really good.
Yeah, mate, the pace was on. You guys were setting some scorching times. He did look to sort of, show the nose and have a bit of go here and there. But yeah, you're right. He is thinking of the championship. He's told me he wants to win this one. But I got to tell you, I think he just made a little mistake through the S's there on the final lap, which really robbed him of any chance of having a final crack at you. But mate, the pace was on up there. And I was saying to Carl before we started, you had a bit of a whoopsie in the race during the week. Short fueling and then pulling the stumps up a lap early, but certainly made up for it tonight, mate. There was a great return to Sunday night racing.
Yeah, I was trying to count the laps this time, see if I could actually count to 20. Yeah, I made sure to go to the flag this time. I think he had a little mistake on the last lap, Christian. I think I was quite stronger than him in turn 3, which kind of like lead up to that whole sector 2. So, but then he seems to get a bit of a more run onto the back straight than me. So I knew I had to have a couple of tenths. So when I saw he just had a little slide, I thought the gap's probably too big on this one.
Yeah, absolutely, and turned out to be the case in the end, which was great for your night out, mate, and great for the racing here tonight. We're really pleased to see you back, mate. Hopefully, we might even see you again sometime soon. But before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
No, just usually you guys for obviously putting on the show. Yeah, I think it's. I don't think I can do the next 2, so let's see about next season.
Yeah, beautiful, mate. Well, we'll be all the better for seeing you and look forward to bringing the racing here and maybe a few more challenges for you next time as well. I mean, Christian's a fair old challenge, I've got to say, but maybe a few more rounds you might make it more interesting. But that's for the next season potentially. But anyway, mate, great to see you and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, see you later, guys.
There you go, Carl. That's honestly one of the best drivers of the skips going around. One, Benny Simonson. He's taken the series out before. Comes back for almost a guest appearance this week for the biggest soft ever, and takes it out by quite comfortably, I must say, in the end.
Yeah, not a bad hand at GTs either, I hear, for Mr. Simonson.
That's right.
But no, absolute legend and just a class act, really, really quick. And one of those drivers that you just go, wow, like it's just something else to watch. But that was such a good battle between himself and Perez, just absolutely enthralling to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Smart racing. They had a crack at the end, and Simpson just came out on top, too strong on that final lap in the end. But let's go to our podium getter here. One Adam Miles, mate. He's 2 podiums in 2 weeks. Nothing to sneeze at, mate. How was the action out there for you tonight?
The first few laps were just a case of surviving. P8 in qualifying was not. It doesn't look like a great result, particularly. I mean, I think it was car number 5, but it was about all I had. And then, yeah, just danger down into turn 1, turn 2. Managed to make it through. I think Oscar had a little bit of damage and sort of waved me through. And then it was just a case of being patient with Nathan and Julian. Got past them both and actually had pretty good pace. I think there was a point there where I had fastest lap, and then I think Benny and Christian put the hammer down. But we didn't really lose a lot of ground. Julian and Nathan played it sensible. We sort of gapped people behind us, and it was fairly straightforward in the end, actually.
Yeah, mate. I did notice a little purple lap time come up for you momentarily before, as you say, Benny and Christian turned the wick up, so to speak. But look, nothing to sneeze at. Third position in the strongest Skippy race ever. That's something to hang on to.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone in the session was completely taken aback by the strength of the field here. I mean, what was the previous best? Sort of 5,300, something like that. So this was a huge jump. I think it got to a few people, but there was certainly some great racing in there as well.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Well, thank you for joining us here tonight. Thank you for your work for the community too. Love reading the posts each week. Is there anyone you'd like to say good day to or thank before we let you go tonight?
Just as always, you guys for doing the broadcast, and for the people who I was driving around, it was a great race, very clean. So thank you to everyone.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, Adam, mate. Look forward to seeing you in the coming weeks and having a chat soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
There you go, Carl. Adam Miles, great to see him back again and having a good result here on this big occasion.
Yeah, look, a really smart drive from Adam as well. He just kept that car in the right place at the right time. He got that pass done on O'Fray, really, really nice and clean. Managed to get that little bit of a gap, as I said, managed to gap the two of O'Fray and Wade, and that just helped him out. Fantastic laps as well from those guys. You know, all to be top 6, I think, were all in the 24s with their fastest laps, which is, you know, we were sort of talking maybe we'll see a 24 tonight, and then we get so many of them. Just absolute brilliant driving and just very clean as well. Just keeping the car in the right place, right time, keeping that speed up, and just getting the car home in a very, very nice fashion.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Once the cut and thrust of the opening laps had settled down a bit, everyone got their head down and got right to it. But let's grab P4 tonight was Master Julian O'Fray. Julian, massive racing out there, plenty of action. Tell us a bit about your race.
Hello. The race started hot. I was close to destroy everyone at the turn 1. I feared a bit myself, to be honest. I was focused on the car on my right and just missed the braking point. I want to thank Vasco. He managed great to evade my bad move. And after that, some overtakes, and I was rear-ended lap 5. It just I don't know really how to say that. I was not crazy, but you mean I was hot after that, and I lose my racecraft maybe for five laps, yeah. But it was fun, but it was not great for the race.
Yeah, for sure, mate. But look, you were able to recover pretty well. P4 tonight, which is fantastic in this quality of field. Strongest skippy race ever, mate. So P4, nothing to sneeze at. And certainly what ended up being an excellent result. But thank you.
I
Sorry, mate.
just lose you on the last thing you said. Can you repeat?
No, I was just going to say, strongest skippy field ever. Finishing fourth is a fantastic result ultimately, and a good recovery drive. So, congratulations on the result, mate. Always good to see you out there, and thank you for your support. Is there anyone you'd like to thank this week?
I want to thank Vasco for the start, for his great evad on my bad move.
Yeah, well, I'll let him know when I talk to him in a minute, mate. Great to talk to you as always, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
There you go, Carl. Last season's champion, Julian O'Fray, up in the points again this week with a strong recovery drive, as it turns out.
Yeah, look, strong recovery drive. As always, always fine with Beaufray. He tends to be very hard on himself, always expecting the very best, and just the littlest mistakes, he is so on it and trying not to make them again. Just sort of watching the start again from him, and I'm just wondering if maybe he was a bit worried about that first corner. We saw him doing a couple of little practices after qualifying, and maybe that caught him out a little bit, being on slightly warmer tyres. He was expecting a tiny bit more grip because he just locked up, lost that rear a little bit. And that might have been part of that reasoning. But as he said, Swarovski doing a great job of avoiding him in that sort of moment, because that could have been a big accident.
Yeah, absolutely. So well done, all involved. We might got a couple of ANZ drivers here. First off, one, Sam Devantier, the Cowboy, finished up 8 positions from where he qualified in 16th to finish 8 tonight. Sam, what's your make of that one? Big night out?
I'm speechless. I'm really speechless. I was like, you know, it's going to be a 5K soft, no problem. Then Benny's here. It's like 6.1K. What did I sign up to? Why did I race this?
Crazy stuff, mate. Strongest one in history. You won the 5K soft earlier this season. You've two race winner this season, and then find yourself buried down in 8th this week, mate. Just talks to the strength of the folks around you as well.
It's crazy, not gonna lie. Like I started P16, second last, so I only won the race this week. I been a bit busy with the good American race, the Daytona 500, but it's ridiculous. It's amazing, actually amazing. It gets better every week.
Yeah, amazing support from the community, mate. That includes yourself, of course. But, mate, hopefully things will go from strength to strength, and we'll see you closer up the pointy end in the weeks to come. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight before we let you go?
I'm going to say this early, but the champion I think is going to be Christian Perez. So congrats to you, Christian. I think you got this title in the bag. So yeah, just shout out to you, buddy. And yeah, the team, Speed Snails, everyone tonight who raced in the chat, and you guys obviously. Shout out to you.
Thanks, Sam. Always good to talk to you, mate. Look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah, take it easy.
There you go, Carl. The Cowboy, Sam Devantier. Look, I've got to say, up 8 positions, only matched by Giuseppe Tellini in 6th. Both take out the joint hard charger award for tonight. Fantastic effort in this quality field.
Yeah, look, it was it was very much a case of just driving around some of those early instants and being in the right place at the right time. We saw that big accident, and the Cowboy was just on that inside line and just managed to sneak through there and avoid all of that carnage. And that really helped his race out. But just keeping the car clean and just keeping a steady pace was the key tonight. And sometimes that's all you need to do. That's an important part. It's a big shock being so far down the order when you expect to be higher, of course. But he had a good recovery and a good finish in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, our final chat tonight goes to the clown in the field. And I say that with the nicest of intent, mate. Were you expecting to sneak in as car number 18 final in the field here tonight?
I didn't think I did. First, evening, boys. Thank you. No, I didn't think we were going to be car number 18. I was quite shocked. I was like, what else 18? I was like, what's the strength of field? I was like, wow. Okay, good. And I'll be honest, I actually did some practice today, and was set for a good quality, but I managed to wipe half a second off at the top of the hill, and the first lap was a crash. So anyway, it was all make it up from there. There's a bit of something in turn one, but we avoided them, but all that. And then in the nicest possible way, if there was a pit lane after the race, there'd be words.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
Maybe more than words, but anyway, that was just, mate, I don't normally complain about people, but that was absolute garbage, and I'll say it straight out on here. So yeah, well, the boy Benny, Christian, Adam, congrats, they did really well, and Sam making it from 16 to 8, good on him. Did but yeah, to say a little bit disappointed, not normally, boys, but that was just wrong.
Yeah, unfortunate incident, mate. Unfortunately, but I'm thinking bigger and better things for you in the coming week, mate. The only way from here is up.
You can't go any more down, Alex. That's the thing.
I'm thinking the season's got to turn around sometime, right? And we're building momentum for the next one, and hopefully maybe even see another yellow car in here next season to join you.
We'll try. We'll see how we go with it. But we might have to change a bit of driving style, I think, too. So we'll work on it. But thank you, guys, and thank you for everything you do. Very much so. And I don't know, the Christian, has he wrapped it up?
It'd be pretty close. We've got to throw some drop weeks in here and there coming up, and we'll see how we go. But
we'll save it for next week.
Yeah, that's it. Always good to talk to you, mate, and we'll hopefully see you again in the coming weeks.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Thank you.
There you go, Carl. Disappointed Vasco Sorowski, and we've got, I'm going to say, an answer to that coming shortly from the next person that we'll grab before they come to blows in the green room. We'll bring up one. Tim Hendrickson. Timmy, welcome back. The orange and blue Team Torpedo machine was not at the pointier end of the field here tonight. P7 though, up 5 positions, not a bad result.
You sure about that? Look, I was here for a bit of fun. Some people get really annoyed, even when they don't quite have the right to. But I had some fun. It's good to be back in SNL.
Yeah, appreciate it, mate. Well, we just need another Team Torpedo driver in here, Mr. Jones, and we'll have a pair, and then you got another teammate floating around as well. Are we ever going to see 3 torpedoes in the field?
Look, Team Torpedo, we're a bunch of very lazy part-timers, so we tend to show up at random. What we do is we show up, we do poorly, and we leave. And I think I managed that today.
I almost said job well done there, but I didn't think. Still, it was great to see you out there again, Tim. Hopefully, we might even see you and some of your teammates in the remainder of the season. We're certainly the better for it, mate. But thank you for joining us. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight before we let you go?
Well, of course, I'd like to give a shout out to Alex McKellar and Carl Whitey, the greatest broadcasters in iRacing history.
Well, mate, you say that, but the high strength of field didn't just get to some of the drivers, got to me too, mate. Started the first, I don't know, a few minutes of the broadcast with the mics muted. So maybe we'll reserve judgment for this point in time. But thanks, Tim. Appreciate you coming and joining us, mate, and we look forward to maybe seeing you again soon.
I'll try. Thanks, lads.
There you go, Carl. Good-natured sense of humour of Mr. Hendrickson. Always good to have a torpedo in the field.
Look, that's it. Sometimes, we have to remember that, it is there for, it's not just seriousness all the time. There is that little bit of fun in there. And sometimes mistakes do happen, unfortunately. And that's what we saw. It was an unfortunate incident. And I would put the blame at probably about 90 towards Mr. Hendrickson. But it was one of those incidents that just it's easy enough to happen, especially in a race like that, if you're just a bit unsighted. And these things happen. And at the end of the day, you just got to let them flow over you like a waterfall and just carry on with it, because you can't really keep it on, because you're just gonna get frustrated and make things worse for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't carry this stuff into the rest of the week. Just get out there and have a bit of fun. As frustrating as it might be on the big stage sometimes when things don't go your way. But certainly tonight went the way of one B. Simonson. Christian Perez tucked in behind, as you see on your screen at the moment. Fantastic racing in what was an historic night for the Skippy series here, and an historic night for us here at Sunday Night Lights. But Carl, thanks for joining us, mate. If anything going on at home, anything going on this week that you'd like the folks at home to know about, where can they find you?
Of course, yeah, we will be having the ANSCAR Cup is back in action, of course. So if you're into the oval side of things, head on over to ANSCAR on Facebook, of course, and you'll find all the information. We had the Daytona 500 today, so it's been a long day of talking for myself. So I am very much looking forward to having a bit of a rest of my voice. But we will be back next week. We are broadcasting on Locked On Lads TV and Performance E streaming. But all of it can be found on anscar.com.
Beautiful. Thank you, Carl. And thank you for joining us and your help at the last minute. It was very much appreciated. So, folks, everything on your screen at the moment, Top Split. Join us in the Discord, of course, where we do the broadcast and the race live and the post-race interviews. The Top Split YouTube is where you'll find this race replay and all the others in the 26 or 25 and a lot of season 26, all our MNL and SNL history. And of course, Top Split TV is where you find us each and every week on a Sunday night for the bestest ever Skippy racing going around, as was evident here tonight. But the other place you'll hear about us, of course, is on the Locked On iRacing podcast. Each and every week we do the SNL wrap. And what a wrap it'll be this week after an amazing field and an amazing night of racing. But that'll about do us, folks. Thank you, as always, for joining us. Your support, both on the track and off, is always greatly appreciated. This is a community-based event. It is done for the community, by the community, and that's how we like it. Until next time, folks, on behalf of Carl Withy, I'm Alex McKellar. And until then, I will say ciao for now.